These stories are inspired by the actual case files of the Office of Scientific Investigation and Research.
Is that good? Oh, yeah.
Hey, kitty, you like my beef tenderloin, huh?
It smells great, honey.
Yeah, our new friend likes my cooking.
You're gonna feed that cat her dinner, are you?
You want to try some?
I think I'll wait till it's cooked.
Ditto.
I'll get it. Hello. Hey, Jeff. Yeah, I heard. I'll deal with it first thing in the morning. Tonight, head office said the numbers were fine. Okay, all right, fine. Listen, come by and we'll go over them again tonight. Yeah, Frank's right here. He's...
Demonic possession, occupation of an individual's soul by the devil, is a primitive belief. Yet despite centuries of social advancement, many still appeal to demonic lore in explaining some disturbing and frightening events. Paul Tanner, software developer, gourmet cook, proud owner with his wife Kelly of a restored Victorian-era San Francisco house, is very much your modern man. But when the foundations of his life were shaken by wrenching visions, fueled through an image of the devil, everyone assumed that this force had set out to capture his soul. Was Paul Tanner battling an evil influence over the control of his spirit? This was the question facing the OSIR in case number 67102.
Get away from me!
Father, you've got to help him.
Mrs. Tanner, I've had very little experience in these matters. There's been no time to prepare.
I'm begging you, Father, please. We've tried everything.
We know your hidden sins, Father. We see through your lies.
Maligne spiritus. Listen to me, deformity, listen well. Almighty Father, grant strength to your servants to fight against this evil one. I command you, O evil spirit, through God Almighty the Father, through Jesus Christ, and through the Holy Spirit, that you depart, this his vassal Paul Tanner, whom now you hold captive. Exi. Do not release him. The devil may just be hiding. Mrs. Tanner, this is unlike anything that I have ever seen. But I will do all I can to free his soul. Now I must talk to my superiors about this matter. But perhaps there is another way to help.
Connor Doyle, case manager, file number 67102, day 1, Tanner residence. Initial sweep reports no anomalous energy fields. Radiation levels are within an acceptable range. No unusual environmental conditions that would precipitate the subject's condition.
Perimeter secured, Connor. Witnesses have signed releases. They're ready to be interviewed.
Then let's get started.
All right.
I don't know. What do you want me to say? I mean, I know these people about 6 months now. They're good people.
Lately, you can sort of get a sense that it's coming on. But the first time that it happened, there was absolutely no warning.
Well, I'm not an official exorcist in the eyes of the church. You could say it's beyond my field of expertise.
He's like he's psychotic or something. I mean, he's screaming, he starts throwing lamps around, he goes completely nuts.
But it kept happening. And the last thing that I wanted to think about was that he was possessed.
I understand that when you enter a room and the devil is there, yes, you can feel a presence.
It's just horrible. One minute Paul's fine, and the next he's this monster that I don't know. But I don't know.
I have like a sensation that I've done something horrible.
With Paul Tanner, I couldn't directly sense this kind of evil. And after trying unsuccessfully to exorcise the demon, it was decided that we should contact your office and see if people could help in this matter.
I brought him to the hospital to have our doctor run some tests on him. And he ran a lot of tests on him, but he came up with nothing. What do you do when you're afraid of your own husband?
I have no recollection of it other than it hurts. I have no control. I can't explain it. Could I have some water?
Case file update. The witness to the episode, one Frank Kelterborn, a friend of the Tanner family, will remain on site for the duration of the investigations so as to maintain a controlled environment. Dr. Corliss, OSIR team psychiatrist, continues with her psychological assessment. She will hypnotically regress Paul Tanner to try to obtain a clear account of the claimed occurrence.
V, W, X, Y, and relax. Paul, can you hear me?
His pulse is well over 80. He's exhibiting tremendous physical and mental stress.
Paul, remember, you are relaxing. Relaxing. Can you take us back to May 16th at 8 p.m.? Where are you?
My house. The living room.
Who is with you?
Demons. Three of them.
What do they want?
My soul. They want to take me. Get away from me!
Paul, come back now.
File number 67102, day 2. Environmental assessment complete. Data pouch containing air, water, and soil samples being sent to headquarters for further analysis. Thus far, all baseline results are normal. Proceeding with on-site surveillance of the Tanner house.
His account of the episode is a delusional reverse of the other witnesses.
Could he be suffering ongoing mental problems?
I don't think so. This is more like a localized traumatic reaction to something.
He has no history of mental illness. What's he reacting to?
Background, archival, and field checks reveal nothing unusual.
What else is going on here? What about his job, his relationships?
Well, Tanner's heading up a bid for a large software contract. It's not going particularly well. Maybe he's a nervous breakdown waiting to happen.
That doesn't mesh with his psychological profile. He's absorbed by his work, not overwhelmed by it.
So why the psychotic episodes? Sounds like post-trauma disorder.
Except there's no evidence of any trauma in his life.
What about Father Martin?
Well, although he's not an experienced exorcist, he did follow the strictures of the church closely. Now, apparently Tanner spoke in tongues, forswore all religious artifacts.
Does Father Martin think Tanner's possessed?
He says he's never seen anything like it.
Gunner.
Yeah?
You guys better check this out. Surveillance cams, have them at Sector 9.
Turn up the audio.
I can't take this any longer. I think he's getting worse.
I know. And even if they can help him, you'll never know. Could still be inside him, waiting. It's kind of dangerous for you to be alone with him.
It's just not fair.
Kill the sound.
All this extreme behavior for marital stress?
It's a variable we'll take under consideration.
Regardless, I don't believe the combination of marital and professional stress could account for Paul's episodes.
People, we have a situation developing.
Snake this man. Stop!
I'm on it.
He's losing it!
And in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Let's get him upstairs.
I found a man to watch him tonight.
He's gonna be okay.
Case file update. I remain very concerned that Kelly Tanner has also experienced an unexplained violent episode. Dr. Corliss's medical examination of the Tanners showed that Paul Tanner suffered a dislocation of his left shoulder during the struggle with the team. For their own safety, they've been sedated and are being kept under round-the-clock watch. Blood work from the couple has been sent to the OSIR labs. We expect results in 24 hours. Just phenomenon spreading?
Hard to say. Classical possessions rarely involve more than one subject. Could it be a form of schizophrenia?
Not likely. The psych assessments we did would have turned something up. And we've basically ruled out psychological stress as a source. So, any possible transference of Paul's behavior onto Kelly doesn't track.
We need more data. Donna, keep digging. Remember, the exorcism eased Paul's pain earlier. At this point, anything's possible. Let's keep that in mind.
Frank, can't leave the house.
Oh, come on. Just give me an hour alone.
I'm sorry, it's a controlled environment.
It's all right, Donahue. What's the matter, Frank?
Oh, I'm just going a little crazy in that house.
Yeah. Can get to you sometimes.
So how's Kelly and Paul?
They're resting for now.
Look, Professor, I'm not very religious, but this invasion of a demon of the human body and soul,
You're worried you'll be next.
I mean, if it's spreading.
The chances of a demonic possession being transmitted are remote. Relax.
Sure, I've heard things late at night from the Tanner house. Screams and things breaking. That is one marriage from hell.
What about strange lights, fumes?
We're talking screaming, okay? It hasn't been this nutty around here since the quake '89 when it knocked down nearly all the chimneys on this block.
Do you know the Tanner's neighbors? I haven't been able to contact them.
No, I've never seen them, sorry. But if you do, could you tell them to mow their lawn?
What are we looking for?
You may want to bring in a structural engineer. It isn't my expertise, but a neighbor mentioned shifting from tremors.
Still, that doesn't explain what's going on.
Do you feel a breeze, Donahue?
Yeah. Over there's a gap in the wall. Ah! Damn it!
It's a good thing you had all your shots.
We said I had a way with animals. Hey, we're gonna make it through this.
Hey, Kelly, how you doing?
Exhausted, but we're fine.
Yeah, we're feeling better.
I'm glad to hear it.
Oh, man. Did I really do all this?
Apparently it did.
God, I don't remember a thing. When is this going to stop? I'm scared.
Donahue, do you read? What's your 20? Donahue? Donner, come in.
In the basement. Possible code red. Repeat, possible code red.
Stay here.
He just collapsed and started having a reaction.
Code red. Donahue's down.
Stay back! I can feel it on my skin. Oh my God, the sound! It sounds crimson, so crimson. It tastes too bright.
Ray? Ray, it's us.
Too red. Stay back! Stay back! It's got me too!
Case file update, 1740 hours. Still no evidence to suggest how this phenomenon is being transferred. Team chemist Sandra Miles will compare the Tanner blood samples with those drawn from security coordinator Ray Donahue.
I've got it. Blood work's back from headquarters.
Do you have an ETA on
About time.
Damn. There's nothing. There's no traces of any foreign substances.
Wait a minute. What did Donahue say before he went down?
Something about colors.
He said, sounds crimson, tastes red.
Could be synesthesia.
I'll run an ultraviolet filter on the samples. Sergic acid diethylamide?
LSD?
Exactly. Sometimes when you're on it, your senses can blur. You hear colors and taste sounds.
Why didn't we pick up the drug before?
It must have metabolized completely before our full tox screen caught it. You see, the Tanners have it also.
We relied on the family doctor's report for the initial analysis, right? They must have done a very basic drug test and missed it too.
It still doesn't explain the violent behavior.
If you don't know that you've ingested the drug, you can panic under its effects.
So they were having bad trips. Now we just need to find the mode of transference.
Oh, they could have picked it up a dozen different ways. The most common is absorption through the skin.
We should check everything in the house.
Well, if we use a UV illuminator, we'll be able to pick up any traces on a scan.
Let's run full environmentals on the house again. 200 hours, day 4. We're undertaking a full reassessment of all environmental tests, but now we have a more specific target to look for, LSD. In its pure state, the drug should register as fluorescent on our scans. Start ultraviolet illumination. Okay, let's see what we can find.
We have your video feed now, Connor.
Moving through the front of the house.
We're picking up something to the west. That would be...
The dining room, I copy. Proceeding into the room. Wait a second.
Our readings have just risen substantially.
Affirmative. My readings concur. Looks like our feline friend here's the perpetrator.
The damn cat is toxic?
It makes sense, right? The cat could be the common denominator.
All 3 subjects came in contact with it prior to their aberrant behavior.
Looks like we found our mode of transference.
Okay. How'd the cat come in contact with the chemical?
Horoscope probe in progress. Visuals up momentarily.
Homes in this block share the same roofs, piping other structural elements. Shifts in the foundations from earthquakes and tremors made for some kind of crawl space, big enough for a cat anyway.
We're clear.
What do you make of that?
It's a drug lab.
Apparently, the cat found its way into the drug lab and was contaminated with highly concentrated dosages of the chemical in its raw liquid state. Anyone who came into contact with the cat's fur was contaminated with LSD. Ironically, cats are unaffected by LSD, just as humans do not respond to catnip. The manufacturers of the illegal drug were arrested and charged. The Tanners have remained together and report no further incidents of aberrant behavior. This case manager Connor Doyle, closing file number 67102.
So the devil Paul and Kelly Tanner fought was not a demon of ancient superstition, but one created by pharmaceutical technology. Fear and paranoia, however, often coupled with a strong religious element, are relatively common responses to psychotropic drugs. A remarkable example might be the hysteria of the Salem witch hunts of 1692, which some historians propose was caused by the ingestion of ergot fungus, the derivative being LSD. Scientific investigation offered the Tanners a conventional explanation of the events in their home, but to Paul and Kelly, that there was a rational cause did not make their visions any less terrifying, any less real.
What a bloody useless waste of time that party was.
Now, dear, you've always told me it's the price of doing business.
Price of doing business. Next time I see that Ralphie Fennick and his stuck-up business partners, I'd like to put my loafer off his backside.
Try and keep at least one eye on the road.
Did you see that?
What?
Up ahead on the road. I could have sworn. Are we expecting a storm tonight?
The road, dear. Watch the road.
Oh, look! Out of the way.
Good Christ! The car!
Na crack them on and breaking war. What's your problem?
All right. Where be I now?
Are you deaf or something?
In the name of God!
Time travel. It's a concept that captivates our imaginations. For science fiction writers, time travelers are usually depicted as courageous adventurers, willing to conquer an unknown future or alter a troubled past. But what of the ordinary man, snatched from his own time and thrown into an unfamiliar future, there to be tortured by the loss of his family and tormented by a strange and threatening world? Within 36 hours after the discovery of a disoriented man in the English countryside, the Office of Scientific Investigation and Research was on site attempting to determine whether his ravings were the delusions of a madman or the desperate pleas of a reluctant traveler, a man out of time.
File number 10103, Connor Doyle, case manager, day 1. Subject found wandering on a road in Spotswood, Bedfordshire County, England. Preliminary evaluation by Dr. Robert Steen led him to transfer the patient to the McMartin Institute, local psychiatric facility. Upon reviewing the police report and the subject's statement, Dr. Steen contacted the OSIR.
Professor Doyle, I presume?
Dr. Steen?
Welcome to the McMartin Institute.
I appreciate your cooperation. We'll need a complete list of everyone here who's had contact with the subject, the police reports, clothes, personal effects.
Whatever you require.
According to Dr. Steen's report, the subject is stable but confused. He can apparently communicate in English, but the dialect is obscure. Ms. Donner will have to identify its origin.
I've read Steen's report. This, who's he say he is?
Hanrahan.
Hanrahan. His story isn't clear.
It's quite simple. Mr. John Hanrahan purports to have been on his farm 1 minute and facing a metal beast the next.
Metal beast?
An automobile, a couple driving home.
The Boswells. Their statement wasn't very extensive. We'll have to talk to them as well.
Let's check it out. Hopefully we haven't come a long way for nothing.
Mr. Hanrahan, we want to help you.
Whatever manner of apparition I be, please, I'm the horrid nightmare. Return me to my rightful home.
Mr. Hanrahan, we must ask you some questions.
I will know and explain what has happened.
Donner, can you identify the dialect?
It's close to Irish, but there's something missing. Please, sir, could you slow it down a bit? Speak more slowly.
I wants to know what happened to me.
We were driving home from Hartford. It was rather late, about
Like something one
2
sees
a.m.
in those farm museums. I believed it to be a great act until he became hysterical.
We had no
screaming
identification
in
of
that
any
accent.
kind. We did a background check on him, found no record of the man at all. No fingerprint matches, no missing person matches. Even did a check for dental records. Strangest thing, he had.
Does make sense.
I mean, everyone has dental records.
He was quite consistent. There were several interviews. It isn't every day that a man appears claiming to be from the 17th century. What is your name?
I be John Hanrahan of Bedfordshire, sir.
And what is your current age?
I am 5 and 30 years.
Where do you live?
My farm be near the town of Spotswood.
Date of birth?
I was born 5 April in the year of our Lord, 1612.
How did you get here?
I do not know that, sir. God help me. God help me.
Physiological tests on the subject reveal no trace of modern bacteria or synthetic antibodies in his system.
That's remarkable.
It's not impossible. If he's from a remote region of the Earth, his system could be this clean. Peter?
There's no environmental anomalies in the area. There's no hazardous waste. There's no toxic gases. There's no abnormal concentrations of energy fields. It's all clear.
Donner?
The subject's accent and speech patterns are unusual. It's not Irish, as it turns out. In reviewing the tapes, we've concluded that the speaker is either from a remote area of the Cotswold Uplands, or he has language patterns inherent to a Bedfordshire farmer from the 1600s.
Interesting.
There's more. According to local archives, a farmer by the name of John Hanrahan did exist in Spotswood between 1612 and 1647.
The subject could have had access to this information.
It would have taken some work, but
So the probability of a hoax remains high.
as we've discussed, I'm starting a covert investigation into the local homesteads in the area, try to cross-reference the archival findings.
Good. Dr. Hendricks.
He's still quite distressed. Repeated DEP testing was required to interpret his psychodynamics, but all the data we've collected so far backs up the subject's story.
What about regressive hypnosis results?
No luck yet. Haven't been able to get him to relax enough in pre-conscious state.
Do whatever it takes to put him under. File number 10103, case manager Connor Doyle, day 4, 0700 hours. Regressive hypnosis may reveal what happened to the subject on the night in question.
Tell me, what do you see?
My farm. I must clear the path.
Why?
A tree has fallen from the storm.
When was the storm?
The night last. Good Lord.
What is it?
A light.
Tell me what's happening. What do you see?
Just like a pebble in the water, but there'll be no water. It surrounds me. Help me. Help me.
Please continue.
It has vanished. My house, my family is gone.
What do you see?
I'm in my field. But all looks different. Bright light. Where am I? Where am I?
We really appreciate you taking the time, Mrs. Lester. This is a very important project for the university's Historical Society.
Always glad to help maintain our heritage. The main house was built in 1809.
And prior to that, what was here?
Just farmland. Tea?
Yes, thank you. It's remarkable, Professor Doyle. It's him.
You mean you think it's him?
Point taken. Shall we maintain our cover?
Don't tip them off just yet. Find out what you can about the family history. Hold on. The genealogical trace report indicates the Lesters are the descendants of one John Hanrahan.
This is my daughter, Megan. And I found the family tree you asked for.
If I may ask, who's the rather striking figure in that portrait?
That would be Sir Stuart Lester. It was painted by a local artist in 1731. Sir Stuart established the first barley mill in this region in 1702 and was knighted by Queen Anne.
And who were Sir Stuart's parents?
Well, Sir Stuart's mother, Regina, was orphaned at the age of 7 after her father disappeared and her mother died of consumption. She was raised by an aunt.
You wouldn't happen to know the name of her father, the one who went missing?
Oh, he didn't go missing. He ran off, apparently to America.
Really?
Now, Megan, that's just folklore. The truth is that no one knows why John Hanrahan left his family.
He's exhibiting all the symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder. He doesn't even comprehend what may have happened to him.
But he is starting to trust you.
Absolutely.
I got the lab report here on the subject's clothes and personal effects. They appear to be authentic, but not vintage.
What are you saying?
I'm saying the fibers match the fibers of the period, but they haven't aged more than 5 or 10 years.
That would be difficult to do.
It might be possible. I'm going to talk to Mrs. Lester myself, explain our situation. I'll try to get the family's cooperation.
This is absurd.
I know how this sounds, Mrs. Lester.
Are you implying this man is actually the John Hanrahan? That's rubbish.
There is some evidence supporting his claim. What might help is a comparative DNA test.
I've heard quite enough. I think it's time for you to go.
Please, think about it. Let's dig deeper into Mrs. Lester's past. Family records, conflicts, power struggles.
Excuse me.
What is it, Megan?
I must apologize for Mother. She can be very close-minded.
You understand that we are trying to help, Megan.
Professor Doyle, this man, could he really have traveled through time?
That's what we're trying to find out.
And that DNA test you mentioned, that would help your investigation.
Yes, Megan, it would. Case file update, 1900 hours. The results of the DNA tests of the subject and a possible descendant show a consistent match.
Well, here's this coffee you've become so fond of.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Hanrahan.
Sir, call me John if you like. It'd be the name my friends call me by.
John, what do you think of everything you've seen?
I see miracles and curses. I see evil men. And I see saints.
These are religious terms you're using. Is that exactly what you see?
Quite so, sir. I know now that I be in purgatory. Limbo to either the gates of heaven or hell's damnation.
You think that you're dead?
Of that I have no doubt. And you, sir, are my judge. To see fit where I spend my eternity.
John, I assure
you. Spare me the ruse, sir. I will do well by you, I swear to that. You are a good spirit. And you will show me my way to the angel's chorus.
But I'm not an angel. Or a saint. I'm a man. A doctor.
I can tell by the very glow in your eyes that you have knowledge of the vast unknown that is man's final journey. I know you will show me the way.
This is a current map of Bedfordshire County. The transparency is a map from 1638. Now, this is Spotswood, where Hanrahan's property would likely have been, and this is where the Boswells found him.
Was the property area covered by our initial assessments?
We ran all possible on-site tests. They all came up negative. You know, it would be helpful if Mr. Hanrahan could show us the exact spot where he appeared.
Run some tests with the subject present.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
John, we need you to show us the place where you found yourself after seeing the bright light.
I do not know if I can, sir, but I will try my best.
Thank you, John.
You be testing me again, sir? I shall win over your favor if it take 1,000 years.
John, you are not dead, and I'm not the guardian of the heavenly gates. Do you understand? We are... I'm trying to help you.
You already have.
Still reading baseline levels.
Thank you, Professor. Biophysical readings?
Blood pressure and heart rate accelerated, body temperature raised. All indicators appear normal.
This is me land. Me home. I built this dovecote with my own 2 hands. I know it well.
There's nothing more we can do here.
Then I failed then. All is lost.
John, wait! Come back!
Take me!
Come along, Mr. Hanrahan. I'm sorry.
All geophysical scans are negative. There's no displacement of matter or time in the estate.
Any theories?
Well, that's hard to say. Subconsciously, he could have transported his corporeal state subatomically from one point to another. Psychokinetic vortex theory.
What about corporeal duplication, a form of reincarnation? Through subconscious compulsion, he gains an ethereal awareness of a past life and synthesizes it into his current one.
We just don't have the evidence to support a scientific theory. And since we don't know how to return him to his home if he is from the past, we have an obligation to help him adjust.
Hanrahan is still suffering from some highly traumatic experience. Our focus should be counseling. I'd like to see him moved to some friendlier surroundings.
I'll take it up with headquarters. This news should lift his spirits.
He'll be only too glad to leave this dungeon behind. Do you unlock the door?
Code Red, get a team up here. Code Red, over.
File number 10103. Professor Connor Doyle, final case log. An autopsy was performed on the body, supporting the theory that John Hanrahan lived nearly 400 years ago. Cell structure, stomach enzyme analysis, and blood count are consistent with that of a 17th century adult male. As for how he came to appear in our present, we can only speculate that he encountered a phenomenon which instantaneously brought him forward in time. This phenomenon, whatever it may be, remains unidentified.
They're good children.
Doyle out.
I missed them. And your wife?
Oh, Marianne. My sweet, precious Marianne. She had the bluest eyes, sir. Oh, how I long to see my farm again. To watch my children play. And my sweet Marianne. Will I ever see you again?
The Office of Scientific Investigation and Research discovered no conclusive evidence of how John Hanrahan's unhappy journey occurred. But if, as the work of Einstein, Rosen, and Hawking suggests, the fabric of space and time is one which can be bent, then perhaps he was unlucky enough to stumble through a compressed fold in that fabric. Whatever the reason, Hanrahan's tragic experience is a disturbing antidote to science fiction's premise that time travel is an exciting and glorious adventure. I'm Dan Aykroyd for Sci-Fi.